I've said this before. When women do these Am I the A-hole threads, we're simply just asking for permission to feel normal stuff. So this woman is 23, her husband is 23. They've been married for a short time. She told her husband that she did not want the same gender roles as his parents, whose the mom is 48, the dad is 67. So there is a huge gap in age between her in-laws, and she doesn't want that same storyline for her marriage. And her husband, like I said, are 23. Okay, some backstory. My husband, James, and I are newlyweds. I adore James, and I'm so happy to be his wife. James and I dated all throughout college. Both of us went to school far from our hometowns, so it took me a while to get to know his parents. 48-year-old mom, 67-year-old dad. They are very sweet people. Just to throw this out there, I do not believe that people that are in their early 20s should be getting married. I believe that when you're in your early 20s, you should be getting to know yourself. You shouldn't be getting to know yourself and learning along with being a spouse. But that is my interjection. Okay, as you may have noticed, there is a large age gap between my mother in law and father in law. Long story short, they got married when she was 21 and he was 40 after dating for a few years. I know, not great, but not the point of this story. For the first 14 or so years of their marriage, my mother in law stayed home taking care of James and his three younger siblings, while father in law worked as a pastor. About 10 years ago, mother in law took a job as a school teacher and started working very long hours, about 70 to 80 per week during the school year. She does this to this day. This brings us to last night. When James and I were discussing a possible career change for me, I currently work as an assistant but would love to pivot to the data science field, which is more related to my college degree. James, who works as an assistant for the local government, mentioned how he wanted us to follow a model like his parents did growing up. I stopped working I stopped working once we have kids and start again after they're a little older. He says that he could keep working full time and providing for us, and that I would handle all the household tasks and childcare. Now, in this day and age, in this economy, it literally takes two incomes, and this is literally an outdated mode of thinking. And we really have got to move past this because it's not sustainable, and it's not sustainable. It's really not sustainable to keep lathering on tasks for women. Household tasks and childcare for multiple children is work. I was taken aback by this, as James hasn't mentioned anything like this before. I told him that what his parents did wouldn't work for us, and I didn't want to emulate them for a multitude of reasons, like I have a degree in a field that is far more lucrative than James. James is 23, not 40 like father-in-law was when he got married, and thus he doesn't have the financial means to provide for me currently. I like working. James and I have totally different skills than his parents. For example, I'm more financially savvy, while James is a better cook. And most importantly, I've witnessed how this day, despite working 40 to 50 more hours per week than my father-in-law, my mother-in-law still has to handle all the household tasks herself, cooking, cleaning, kid-related things herself, because father-in-law doesn't want to, never bothered to learn. I don't want that. From this, it sounds like this woman has it down. She understands that this is not for her. The fact that she listed it in bullet points tells me that James is either going to like it or leave it, and she is prepared. She must be prepared to walk away. James is upset by my response, saying that I was implying that father in law is lazy and that I was disparaging their marriage. He thinks that this system worked well for them, so why wouldn't it work for us? He is still upset with me today. Meanwhile, I feel a little blindsided by this whole thing. I didn't mean to offend him, but this isn't the life I thought we had agreed upon. Edit. Someone suggested I add, we did discuss this before marriage. We both agreed that it made more sense for us both to work. He doesn't want to be a stay-at-home dad. I said that if we get pregnant way earlier than expected, I'm open to be a stay-at-home mom temporarily if that's our best option. So this is like when people have these belief systems that's rooted in religion and somebody else doesn't feel the same way about their religion. They get upset. Like, my religion, my way of thinking isn't good enough for you. It's just like, your way of thinking, how you came up, is perfectly fine. That's not for me. They don't get the "it's not for me" part, especially if they have considered this, if have talked about this, and then he did a flifty do on this whole situation. Not everybody wants to live like that, and that is perfectly fine. You have got to find the person that matches and then move along that way, instead of finding someone who has expressed that they do not want to live that way and then try to force it. So the OP was in a lot of the comments. I'm not going to make this video very long, but this person says, you really need to set the pattern of dividing house labor now after this conversation. And the person says, that's part of why I'm so confused. We have a very equitable division of house labor right now. If anything, he does a little more, like more cooking, because I work longer hours. Understand that I think that the manosphere red pill ideology is really impacting people's relationships. I think that social media is getting into some of these men's heads and it's making them think that women just need to be in the house. And so when they think, oh my God, I'm actually cooking and cleaning, they're like, this is not how I want to be. I need to do what these red pillars are saying or what my parents are saying. And that is not going to work for today's society. It's just not going to. Like I said, I'm not going to read all of these comments, but you guys can go ahead and comment what you think, what you see, like, comment, share. And if you're enjoying the commentary, go ahead and give me a follow. Thank you for asking this question. This commenter said, what was the part about student loan debt? I was supposed to put this in there, but I forgot. Thank you for reminding me. She had a throwaway, she had a post that was deleted. My husband hid the full amount of his debt from me until after we got married. So somebody asked, is this an expensive degree? He's not working in that field, or he spent all of the loan money for a minimum wage job. This all sounds like a nightmare. So the OP says, he is working in his field, making above minimum wage, but the degree he got was not in that field, was not in a field that pays very well. I don't want to say exactly what, but he got a degree in one of the social sciences. I got a STEM degree. Someone on the post about traditional roles had gone back to her post, and this person made a comment about it. They said, in your earlier post, you mentioned that your husband also lied about the extent of the debt he brought into the marriage, and you two are already struggling financially. Now you find out he's been lying to you about his expectations for marital roles because he wants what Pastor Daddy had. You married a liar. You marry someone who has absolutely no problem lying to you so long as he gets what he wants in the end. He lies to you about his debt, and now you're suffering from those sets of lies. He lied about respecting your desire to keep working the job where you out-earned him. What else will he lie to you about? Do you want a marriage where your partner respects you so little and you can't trust him at all? So that was the part about him and the husband and his debt. So this young couple is starting off on a very, very rough footing.